Do you ever feel like you and your partner just aren't connecting anymore? Maybe you feel unappreciated and worry that the spark is gone. What if learning one new concept could turn everything around? Just as there are different verbal languages spoken all around the world to communicate our ideas to one another, there are different love languages that we use to express our love and affection to each other. What if that lack of spark that you're worried about is just because you and your partner speak different love languages? In this video, I'm going to teach you exactly what love languages are so that you can start recognizing them in your relationships. I'll also share a personal example of how multiple love languages can be present in a single situation, building on one another and reinforcing the connection. And remember, this is just as relevant for friendships, coworker relationships, and parenting, as well as it is for romantic relationships. Trust me, it isn't hard to do, but it can be very eye-opening and transformative in the way you look at your relationship situation. But first, let me tell you a little bit about what happens when you aren't aware of love languages. Now, love languages were first made popular by Dr. Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages. I'll put a link down in the description to his book as well as to his official resources. In general, we all have a preferred way of communicating and receiving our love and affection. The problem is that we expect everyone around us to communicate in the same language we use. So there's obviously going to be some problems with that. If our partner or friend or child or coworker expresses their support differently than what we're expecting, we may not even recognize it, and we may feel very unloved and unappreciated. If they don't recognize our efforts, we may start feeling pretty bitter and resentful. That is a recipe for relationship disaster. Instead, imagine waking up feeling deeply understood and cherished by your family and friends. And even more important, you know how to understand them so that you can encourage, motivate, and inspire them. That's the promise of understanding the 5 love languages. By identifying your primary love language as well as those of your loved ones around you, you unlock a powerful tool for nurturing deeper connection and understanding in all of your relationships. So what exactly are the 5 love languages? Let's start with number 1, physical touch. This can obviously include sexual intimacy, but it also includes everyday kinds of touch, like giving someone a hug or a shoulder rub, or snuggling with them on the couch. Next up is words of affirmation. So this is directly letting someone know exactly what you appreciate about them. It can be something simple like, "Thanks for taking the trash out for me." Or it can be something a little more deep, like, "Thanks for walking these last few months with me in my grief since my dad died. It's really helped me feel safe." Next is giving gifts. Now, obviously we think of gift giving around someone's birthday or holiday like Christmas, but gifts can also be the everyday occurrence like, "I picked up your favorite soda when I was at the grocery store." It's more about letting the person know that you were thinking about them. Next up is my personal favorite, acts of service. This is doing something for your loved one without being asked and without expecting anything in return, especially if it makes their life easier or requires a little bit of sacrifice on your part. You're not looking for thanks or a quid pro quo of you do something for them so that they'll do something for you. It's just you being willing to do something to make their life easier. And a close second for my love language is quality time together. This could be something big like taking a trip around the world, but it can also be something relatively mundane like going grocery shopping together or weeding the garden together. This love language is less about the task that you're doing and more about approaching that task together as a team. So I found a funny taco meme that I think summarizes the love languages in a really humorous way. And as a Texan, that was right up my alley. So words of affirmation might be, "Honey, these tacos you made are delicious." Acts of service might look like, "I made tacos for you tonight." Gifts could be, "I bought these tacos for you." Quality time together could be, "Hey babe, let's go out for tacos together." And physical touch could be, "Hey baby, let me hold you like a taco." There is certainly some overlap in the love languages, and let me give you an example that happened to me a couple of years ago. So I came home and my oldest daughter had spent some time vacuuming and mopping the kitchen floor because she knew that I had planned to do it when I came home. So her acts of service inspired me to praise her with words of affirmation, really thanking her for going out of her way to make my evening easier. and that allowed us to have some quality time together, watching movies and snuggling on the couch. So that's 4 of the 5 love languages right there. Her act of service, my words of affirmation to her, while snuggling, physical touch, and quality time together. So it doesn't have to be that hard or complicated. By learning to speak the love language of those around you, you really decrease the chance of miscommunication and hurt feelings, and increase the likelihood of really connecting and bonding with them. So you probably naturally gravitated to 1 or 2 of the love languages that really made sense to you, but you might have struggled with imagining how to implement some of the lesser-known love languages that don't come naturally to you, and that's totally fine. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't miss out on the next videos that I do on each of the love languages, because you could be just one video away from understanding how to better connect with your loved ones so that you can encourage, inspire, and motivate them.